Hello friends, AmyR here with Prairie paper and ink. For these cards, I am using more Distress ink re-inkers for some watercoloring. So I started off with some Canson XL watercolor paper, and I just have this little pile of scraps that I keep, right in the top of the watercolor pad of paper. And I pulled those out because it's a great way to use up scraps, things like that. I had a rough idea in my head of what I wanted to do. I actually only intended to make one card. And then I was like, I might be able to make a couple. So started off with just stamping a bunch of the images. And these are from the Simon Says Stamp Organic Fruits stamp set. This set actually comes, it has the line images, but then it has solid stamps. So you can just stamp the colors. And it's all kind of modern and things like that. The set was actually designed by, if you're familiar with Laura Basson, aka Laura Fedora. She does a bunch of videos for Simon. Her daughter designed this set, and I love this set. I don't know what it is. I just love it. So I was stamping the images onto these scraps with VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink. I was using my anti-static powder tool first, and then just stamping the images with that ink. And because it's a slow drying ink, I was coating all of these images with Wow's Clear Matte Dull embossing powder. You could also use clear embossing powder. You could also just skip the embossing powder altogether. But like a broken record, I always like to heat emboss my images, especially when I'm watercoloring, because it gives me that little raised edge and it just makes things a little easier. But it doesn't really matter. You could use, like I said, you could use clear embossing powder or the Clear Matte Dull that I'm using here. I just like the Clear Matte Dull, depending on my mood, because it doesn't look embossed, so it doesn't give that shiny finish. It literally just depends on my mood. So that's what I was using. And I just filled out all these scraps. I just literally kept stamping the images until every single scrap had images stamped on it. I coated everything with the embossed powder. I went back and added this little dot image that's in the set. Stamped that on everything too. Again, coated it all with embossing powder. Once everything was coated, then I started melting everything with my heat tool. And if you've never used the Clear Matte Dull embossing powder, it turns shiny when you first melt it, like when the heat is right on it. And then right as it cools down, like a few seconds later, you'll see it go dull. So then you just know that it's good. Yeah, no different than any other embossing powder. The only difference is it just has that dull matte finish versus the shiny finish you get from most embossing powders. So after everything was embossed, I'm going to do watercoloring. I have my palette still. I haven't bothered cleaning it out. That's also why I was using it. You guys are going to see several videos because I just don't feel like washing it out. And it's also forcing me to be a little more creative because I'm mixing colors and stuff in here. So I have colors from my previous video in here. And then I added some Twisted Citron. I added that to the little green section, and I'll get to the other colors in a minute. So I start, like I generally do, with just clean water. By painting clean water over my images first, it gets the area wet and it lets everything move, because anything distress, whether you're using the re-inkers or the sprays, I've shown tons of videos with the sprays and watercoloring with them and that sort of thing, or smushing your ink pads and watercoloring that as well. That works. The only reason I've been using the re-inkers lately is because they are concentrated colors, so you can get the most vibrant version of them. And then the more water you add, obviously, the more you're thinning them out more, and you just get more shades of color from a re-inker versus just smushing the ink pad. But you could also, you could use the distress sprays, you could use oxides, oxide inks, regular watercolors, anything. Whatever floats your boat. I'm just, again, on a kick. And the latest kick is the Distress Ink re-inkers. So I've got Twisted Citron and Rustic Wilderness. I've used this combo a few times. I've used it with oxides and different things. And these two greens together just make me happy. I love the Rustic Wilderness. It's such a deep, gorgeous green. And then Twisted Citron is such a bright, punchy green. And mixing the two together, fun. So I did that for all the leaves, did all the leaves at once, and now I'm going to do the pears. And with the pears, I'm using some of the mustard seed that was already in my palette, as well as I'm going to drop in and mix like Twisted Citron and a bit of the Rustic Wilderness. Because pears, you can kind of do so many colors. I think that's also why I love this stamp set and any sort of like fruit images, because you can really just have a lot of fun with them, you know, because there's so many different types, especially nowadays with all of the like hybrid versions and all the fun things. You can really have fun with fruits. And then if you really want to get crazy, you could just do, you know, Art Nouveau and do like purple. I haven't gone that far yet. It's very hard for me to step out of that box, but I would love it if someone did, you know, do like purple pears and blue oranges, you know, just have fun with it. So anywho, that's what I did with all the fruits and all the leaves, everything. Clean water first, and then just start dropping in color. With the fruits, because I have like much larger surface area, I would just tap. That's what I call like kind of dropping in the color. I just kind of tap the color, and then because everything's wet, it's just going to move around and do its own thing. And I just set it aside and let it dry. It's the beauty of the distress inks. They, you know, react so well with water, and it's fabulous. So for the oranges, I used Carved Pumpkin, and I'm going to use a little bit of Candied Apple there. I have those in the same little area, and I'm also going to pull in a little bit of that mustard seed as well. Going back as usual and editing, it's like, oh, I should have added maybe a bit of Crackling Campfire to this. Crackling Campfire was the one of the new colors that was released, you know, in the last however many months. Such a deep, intense orange. That would have been nice, but I forgot. But anywho, I just, again, same thing. I kind of tried to keep the darker colors to where I had stamped the little dots. But as always, I'm not really following any sort of rules with light sources, especially when things are just stamped on scraps like this, because I don't even know yet how I'm going to, you know, assemble anything. So I did all that. And then for the apples, I used Candied Apple, but I also pulled in a bit of the mustard seed, a teensy bit of the green. You got to be careful when you're adding green to red, because they are, they kind of cancel each other out in the sense that they'll just deepen a color, or they can just turn brown. I also added, there's a little bit of Rusty Hinge in my palette, so I kind of added a tiny bit of that to where the dots were. Just having fun with it, you know, because same thing, apples, so many colors, so many variations. You could do, you know, with a bright Twisted Citron green. That would look gorgeous, because there's nothing better than a Granny Smith apple, in my opinion. But anywho, after I finished painting all of these, I just set them aside, let them dry. Didn't take very long. Once everything was dry, I used the coordinating wafer dies and die cut all of them. And I'm just using, I had mentioned this in a previous video. I bought this Spellbinders, do they call it the best tape ever? I don't know. I'll have a link to it. It's this yellow Spellbinders tape. It's very similar to washi tape. I'm really liking this stuff, and you get a ton on the roll. But yeah, I had bought this a couple months ago, and I just keep reaching for it. But I really love it for taping down my wafer dies. But I also use it when I'm hot foiling too. So anywho, tape my wafer dies into place so that they don't move around when I run them through my die cut machine. And I die cut all of those images. And then for my backgrounds, I am using just more Canson XL watercolor paper. These are larger than my card fronts because I'm going to die cut them when I'm done. But I use that, and I'm using Simon's Open Grid background stamp. I actually used this when it first came out. Yeah, I had done that like mixed media sort of card with this. So I am stamping, like I had it face up. I used my anti-static powder tool on the cardstock, and then inked up the stamp with clear embossing ink. And then I was just pressing with my fingers, like bringing the cardstock to the paper. I've shown this in a lot of videos with background stamps over the years. And then I was coating everything with that same just clear matte dull embossing powder, and then brushing off a bunch of it with a paintbrush, just a dry paintbrush. You don't want a damp paintbrush or a wet paintbrush, because that'll just pick up the embossing powder and it'll clog your paintbrush and make a mess. So I just use a dry paintbrush just to remove it in areas, and of course you're not going to see it right now. But I didn't want the backgrounds perfect. Like, I purposely did everything on an angle. I purposely brushed off excess. I purposely didn't press, you know, evenly, which I know a lot of you identify with the, like, lining things up, stamping everything perfectly, etc. It took me years to get out of that mindset and just be more loose and free with things. I wanted these backgrounds just fun and simple and soft because I want like the fruit to be center stage. So after I had melted everything with my heat tool, I got it wet with water, and then I dropped some Salvage Patina Distress Reinker into my palette, and there is some weathered wood in there as well, so they're like mixing together. And after painting with clean water, I would just kind of pick up that mixture, paint that on top. So the embossed areas, of course, are resisting all that color. And, you know, some areas are heavier, some are lighter. It's not perfect. I don't want it to be. And then it'll dry, and they'll just be nice, soft, bluish sort of color. Salvage Patina is seriously, I'm obsessed. I love every new color when it comes out, but this one is just, they're all fabulous. And I say it in every video, but anyhow. So I did that with all 3 backgrounds. This little like painty part took no time at all. I'm not even kidding, maybe 2 minutes. And then again, I let them completely dry. And then I die cut them with a rectangle wafer die. And then for my sentiments, I just grabbed a piece of black cardstock and the thank you sentiment from this set. Used my anti-static powder tool. This time I stamped the sentiments with just clear embossing ink. And then I'm coating them with white embossing powder. I'm going to melt all of this with my heat tool. Once these are all melted, I'm going to die cut these with a circle wafer die. So tape the wafer die into place, run that through, die cut all those sentiments with that circle wafer die. Because by this point, I had a rough idea of what I was doing. I went from only going to do 1 card to maybe doing 2 to realizing I could do 3 cards. Because I was going to use all the fruits on 1 card, you know, that sort of a thing. And then realized I did 3 of each. So it's like, oh, I can just do 3 cards. 1 will be oranges, 1 will be pears, 1 will be apples. Perfect. So that's what I did. And I basically went around and kind of figured out a layout for each of my card fronts. And I used a combination of the like Spellbinders tape and some craft tacky glue to adhere some of the like leaves and like clusters of fruits, etc. together. And I did that for all 3 cards. I haven't adhered anything down yet because of course I'm going to add splatter. I pretty much could have adhered everything and then added the splatter, but this is what I decided to do with these ones. So I have my palette again. This one little well, I have just a mixture of white gouache and perfect pearl powder. Even with white gouache and the perfect pearl powder, they can be remixed with water over and over again. Like they'll dry, but you can add water again or use a wet brush and swirl it up and it will just keep reactivating. Same with the distress inks. I mentioned this in my last video. What a person should do is if you have the Ranger Distress like plastic palette or just something with a lid, you can use that because then you can close it and it won't get like fuzzies and lint and stuff in it, because distress inks can just be reworked over and over and over and over and over again. Like they never fully dry. Same with the gouache and the perfect pearl mixture. So that's also why I'm using, you know, gonna do a bunch of like videos and cards with this little palette because I just want to use it. Like keep using it before it gets to, because no matter what I do, there's always lint, animal hair, fun things, you know, falling into stuff, even trying to keep this little palette covered. It just, anyway, it's a never ending battle. So I use that mixture to add splatter to the backgrounds. So just the white gouache and the perfect pearls. You don't really see the perfect pearls much this time because I added more gouache. Or you could do them separately, which I do a lot usually. I'll usually do like a white splatter and a shimmer splatter because, you know, you can never have too much. So I did that to the background, and I also did that to all the fruit because I just like the look it gives and the texture. Some people don't like it. You can always skip this step, whatever floats your boat. You guys know, I love the splatter. It just makes me happy. So set all that aside again to dry. My card bases were Nina Desert Storm cardstock. I just cut the sheets in half, so they'll be A2 size cards, so 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then everything is now dry, so I can start assembling. So I've got my sentiments, which I'm just going to adhere to the backgrounds with some craft tacky glue. And then the fruit, I'm going to pop up with some thin 3D foam squares just to give them that little bit of dimension. And I will just repeat this process with each of the card fronts. So adhere my sentiment, adhere my fruit, and then on the inside of each card, I'm adhering the 3rd fruit with just the craft tacky glue. And then the few remaining leaves I had left over, I just kind of tucked them in here and there. on the card fronts and adhered with some craft tacky glue. And then to adhere the card fronts to the card bases, I used Simon's Big Mama foam tape because, again, it's nice and thin, gives it a little bit of dimension, but doesn't make everything too bulky. And then just made sure to adhere each card front to the base that had the same fruit on the inside. And I did. I'm 100% made sure, because I would 100% do, mix them up and have like the orange card and there'd be an apple on the inside. It wouldn't be the end of the world, but I kind of wanted it to match. And then, as always, a final little bit of embellishment, because you never have enough. These are some Trinity Stamps unicorn tears. That's what they're called. They're just clear, shimmery crystals. Love. So I just adhered those into place with dabs of craft tacky glue and just using my embellishment wand to pick them up. And then I'm going to pair each of these cards with a sort of matching envelope from my stash. So an orange envelope, a green envelope, a red envelope, because why not? And that's going to finish off this fun little set of cards. So as always, I will have a link below my video to my blog post. I'll have my pictures in my blog post. I'll post picture links to all the supplies used, all that info. You can check it out in the description box below the video if you are interested. Thank you all so much for watching, for subscribing, thumbs upping, commenting, all of it. I very much appreciate it. And stay tuned. I will be back very soon with another video. Bye.